breastfeeding disgusting. So please feel free to jump in. And my feelings and thoughts are that, like, this person that feels that way and is so angry that there was something missing for that person early on in their life, and that I connected back there. There's a lot of research to support that. There's it seems like we have clear evidence right now with what's going on in the world, and I'm sure there's research about, like, who sits in our prisons and who besides the influence of the terrorists in bringing people in there. It just starts way before that with the brain and how is it formed, and were they breastfed, were they nurtured, were they loved, do they feel loved, if they do or don't, like, why, where does it come from? So I'm very interested to know, from you, um, you know, what what you think or what you understand about the comment that breastfeeding is disgusting. It's how we feed our babies. Yes, we have formula, but that was invented. That was invented, and from the history, it goes back to, you know, uh, it goes back to telling women that, um, this is that, like, it was a marketing thing with the formula. First of all, there was a surplus of milk after the war, and second of all, there was the marketing ploy to say, like, hey, this is a status symbol. Like, if you can afford to buy this, this is so much better. Look at how it's um, better for your baby, and it's prepared and scientifically better, or whatever they did in the beginning. Honestly, I'm not sure exactly. So, but the point being that we've been duped. Some of us have been duped. Some of you have been duped into thinking that formula is the next best thing, and it simply isn't. It just isn't. When you look at what's in the breast milk, and also just the breastfeeding relationship and the development of the baby, not only the brain and the body and the gut, but so many other things. I'm not going to get into all that. What I really want to know is how someone can come to the point in their life, like, what would have shaped the belief, and I guess that's where I'm going, what would have shaped the belief that breastfeeding is disgusting? That's really what I want to know. What would have shaped that? So if anybody has anything to say, I'd love to hear from you. I want to have a civil discussion, whether you're a birth worker or not. I see, I don't know, Aaron has jumped in. I don't know who you are. I hope you're in here listening because you want to learn and you have, something maybe to share in the chat. Whoever else might be watching or listening. Um, to me, breastfeeding is normal. It's how we feed our babies. It's how we raise up a culture of, nurtured, independent, loved beings. And for me, when I hear somebody so angry about somebody breastfeeding, it brings up a lot of questions for me. And I want to understand that. And, in light of the violence that we've witnessed this week in the United States, where does that come from? It's not grown in a minute. That whole situation of bringing someone to the point of, going and just, like, killing massively with a semi-automatic, like, what would have them do that? What's the belief? What's the conversation that they're having in their head? What conversation does that guy have in his head that went up to the woman in Target and told her that breastfeeding was disgusting, and that he wanted his money back? And I just, other cultures are not like that. This is the U.S. This is unique to the U.S. I had somebody, one of my colleagues, comment this morning. I went on live on Facebook, and she shared with me that there was somebody from another country, and it was from Cuba, and the woman couldn't believe that people kept asking her in this country, like, "Are you going to breastfeed? Are you going to breastfeed?" It was like, yeah, of course I'm going to. That, like, what else would I do? So I think we have to remember too that this kind of an attitude is unique in the United States. That's clear. they don't have this going on in other countries, that women aren't accepted when they're breastfeeding their babies, because it's normal. I mean, it's how a baby develops optimally. If we want optimal development, can a baby grow? Sure. Look, I was formula fed. Okay, so big reveal. And yeah, I'm alive. I'm well. I'm having an awesome life that I'm creating every day. However, that doesn't mean that um, because it's become, I guess, normal, that it's okay. It's the same thing with, okay, a newborn baby goes to daycare at 6 weeks. I mean, it's become accepted, is it, and kind of like the norm, but is it okay? What does it do? So I have more questions than answers, as usual. I'd love for someone to pop on. I think what I'll do is I'll just like share, going on my computer. I have two things going on because I have my tablet and my computer. So I'm going to just do a little side thing here. Breastfeeding, share your thoughts, join me. So I'm going to go give this a shout out. I love to spew. So anybody that will listen, I'm on it. So yeah, I get to have my tablet in front of me for the video, and hopefully you can hear me if you're out there and you're listening. It looks like there's a few people that might be viewing um, from another location, and which is great. I hope there's somebody listening. Otherwise, I'm talking to myself, but that's okay too. Um, for me, it's important that people understand each other and where they're coming from, but also it's important for people to look and say, where does that come from? So I'm just trying to understand, other people, so that I can remove judgment and I can meet them, in a common ground and something that we can connect on. Because look, the guy that was in Target shouting how disgusting the breastfeeding was or is, um, he's angry, and whatever's going on in his life is driving him. His desires and his goals and dreams and visions, and I don't know what they are, but I'm sure he has them, or at one point had them, and something has gotten him to this point. And I'd like to know I'd like to know what got him to that point. So please feel free to jump in. I'm going to give a shout out on Facebook too, um, so we can get something going here besides me. But that's okay. This is what happens when you start something new, right? And I get to see. Hold on. Yeah, I get to add this to Facebook. Join me live now. Yeah, please come on now. I'd love to have you. Um, so I'd like to know what you think about breastfeeding being described as disgusting. And actually, so by the way, I never said, so I am Betsy Schwartz with Birth in the Know. My longtime company is 10th Month Doula Services. My new name, umbrella, to combine my doula services and my game down the canal, the game of birth, is Birth in the Know, where questions are conceived and answers are born. So my goal is for people to ask more questions about birth, about breastfeeding, and want to know more. And whoever that is, bye, go away. Might have been my son. I don't know. Anyway, so please feel free to jump in and share your thoughts, and connect with me too on Facebook. I have two pages, 10th Month and Down the Canal. Haven't figured out the combination yet to combine into Birth in the Know, but I do have that website, and you can hop on and see what else I'm up to. Sidetrack a little here. I'm about to be on tour with my game Down the Canal. So I'm leaving in less than 2 weeks for that. And I really working on connecting with other birth professionals and other people that really want to know more about birth and what's really happening in this country, in our culture. We have so many great people doing so many great things in terms of improving birth and getting information out, true, accurate, factual information about birth, what happens in the hospital, the statistics on home birth, the true stats, and what's safe and what isn't in all environments, whether it be birth, center, home, breastfeeding as well. Why is it that we have people thinking it's disgusting? I mean, we are the human species. We're the only ones that drink another species' milk, by the way. So isn't that a little weird? I think so. Why do humans drink another mammal's milk? No other mammals drink a different mammal's milk. Have you ever thought about that? I wonder if that the guy that was angry in Target probably didn't think about that. I'm venturing to say, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of making a guess on that. I'm just a stab at it. So Aaron, I don't know. I see you in here. I don't know who are you and what are you up to? What caused you to pop over here if you're still here? I'd like to know. Because this isn't just for birth workers. This is a symptom of the illness in our society, I believe. That because babies are born into violence, oftentimes there's neglect, and actually it might not even be deliberate neglect. Parents may not know the importance and significance of the bonding, the breastfeeding, and what that does for the emotional, physical, spiritual, mental well-being of that baby. So we have a lot of babies being raised by other people. We have a disconnect. We have a complete disconnect in our culture, and we're disconnected to who we are and where we came from. And we think we're better than nature. We pretty much disregard the laws of nature for the most part, as witnessed by what we see in the world around us, with the violence, with the destroying the rivers and lakes and streams. Just I could go on and on. And it's a clear problem, to me, and the clear solution, not so much. I think there's many ways to go about it, and I think understanding each other is the first part, and working towards connecting and building bridges. When we operate from fear and anger, it's a very different world, and we all have a part in that and a piece in that. So somehow, like for me, I know I get to shift, and I get to, rather than be bashing the guy who's angry at the woman breastfeeding, let me try to understand that. I don't know that I'll ever connect with the man that was so angry, but I do want to understand where it comes from, because I'd like to be able to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. And if anybody has any ideas on that, please share them with me. I have a few. I recently joined the Birth Keepers Council, and there's a broad vision with that group, but it really is looking at the mother-baby diet and the primal period of birth and beyond, how that shapes the human being, and what are some of the policies that support, promote, and protect, or are there any? There's a lot more to it, but definitely looking at the big picture and a vision of a world where babies, moms, and families are treated with respect, with dignity. The care is being given because of the person that is needing the care, and not time clocks and profit and all the rest of that goes along with it. We do live in that kind of society where the bottom line is, the revenue and the dollars, and it's no different in birth. It's no different with the formula. I mean, they have big marketing clout. Breastfeeding is how we're supposed to be feeding our babies. It's how they thrive, and why is it looked at as disgusting? I don't get it. I'd love to know what you think. I'd love for you to share your thoughts. And talking to myself is, it's okay, but I'd rather be talking with somebody else. Yeah, when you start something new, I've been doing the blab, only for like a month or so, and I've actually skipped a time or two. So I get to figure out bringing people into the fold, bringing people from Twitter that might not even have thought about some of what I want to talk about. So you're welcome on here, whether you're a birth professional or not, if you'd like to talk about our culture and how we've come to grow human beings that think breastfeeding is disgusting. I mean, it just blows my mind. So, yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I had an answer. I do have some answers, but many more questions than answers. And yeah, I don't think that I'll solve it today or that we'll solve it today. That would be great. Boy, wouldn't that be a great day? We solved the answer to that question. But I know that there's many people doing many great things to shift the thinking, and it does start right here with each and every one of us. We get to learn our beliefs and where they come from, and are they serving us? Are they serving society? Are we really thriving as a human being and as a culture? And I would say we're not. Like as a culture, that yes, we do have some thriving aspects, and in fact, there are many more great things happening than we see and witness in the media because we know that all the stuff that's gory and bad and horrific is very sensational, and we're desensitized to it, so it does sell the news. So if the news could be 25 minutes on all the good stories and 5 minutes on the negative, how would that be different? If you ever watch the evening news, the one with I watched Lester Holt, and it's the last 5 minutes with like the make a difference story, and that for me that's the best part. But I have to watch all the other stuff, or I do other things while I'm watching. I do the dishes and whatever, and then I watch the good stuff. So I know there's great people doing great things and supporting and promoting and protecting breastfeeding, and I am on board with that, and I would like more people to be on board with that. And I'm not certain how we got to this point, but we're here now. So in moving forward, we can connect the dots and bring people together that can support and promote and protect breastfeeding. However, that's not where it starts. It starts well before with the attitudes and beliefs that shape us. And those influences come from many places. It could be the family we were brought up in, the area, the geographic area that we live in. If we had any women around us that breastfed, that gave birth normally, where we go to school, who we choose as our friends. So all these things shape our experience and beliefs. And then we can get to a point where we say, I don't know, like, is that really true? Where did I get this from? Let me think about it. Now, if you get to that point, you're in good shape because then you get to really dig deep and figure out, why you are the way you are. And do you want to stay that way, or do you want to, be something else, or have a different attitude? So um, again, what brings the man in Target to a point that he would say breastfeeding is disgusting? I don't know. I don't really have a clear answer, and I'd love to hear from somebody else on what they think. And I'm not sure that will happen today, and that's okay. I'm thinking I may shift this show to an evening to see if we can gather some more forces, and there can be more people blabbing with me because that would be way more fun than this. And I'm going to keep this open for another few minutes. And perhaps somebody will pop on, and maybe not. If nothing else, I get to practice in front of the camera. I'm about to shoot some videos, some marketing videos for what I'm up to in my business, and this is helpful for me. So I really like being in front of the camera. I just rather be talking to somebody than talking to myself. That's the only thing. Uh, it's kind of fun experimenting and doing something rather than not. But I would much rather have somebody in here saying, "Hey, yeah, I got some thoughts on what you're talking about." So And I have somebody in the chat and a couple people viewing from outside of Twitter, which is great. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You can even comment once. I'm gonna see about posting this video. I haven't done that for all my labs, but maybe we'll get some comments going later, and that's fine too. And I'm gonna see about if I can drop this link in here to my website. I tried before one time and it didn't work out, so we'll just be trying that and see if I can get it. If not, I get to figure out why it's not happening. I love figuring stuff out, right? It's so much fun, especially technology. Oh wait, birth in. I spelled it wrong. Birth in the know. Birth in the know. That is my website. Birthinthe.know.com. Let's see. Drop-ins won't show and recordings. Okay, that's fine. But let me see if it'll just show up here. No, I don't know. I'm gonna try it. See what happens. Anyhow, you can get to me. Birth in the know. And I'm going to shift this over for a minute because I'm going to share again. Let's see. Yeah, join me. Tellbirds, educators, doulas, doula trainers. I want to know. Want to know what you're thinking? Really? Come on. Yeah. Oop. What you think? All right. I'm fooling around here. I know it's gonna look silly on the review, but that's all right. Join me. Yeah. I'd like to see what you think. And what do you know about somebody that would say breastfeeding is disgusting? All right. Well, anyway, that's probably going to be it then for today's show. And it's been fun and real, but not real fun because there's nobody else in here chatting with me. Where are you? Hello. I love to blab, so it's okay. I'll figure it out. And if not, I'll just find another way to blab what I have to say because I know there's somebody that's got the same stuff on their mind. They're just not showing up here. So anyway, this is Betsy Schwartz with Birth in the Know, and I was just blabbing about breastfeeding and how someone would get to the point of saying breastfeeding is disgusting and being very angry when a woman is breastfeeding her newborn baby. And this happened in a Target in Connecticut. And I do have the video on my page on Facebook, Betsy Schwartz. I have it on my page 10th month. I have it on Down the Canal. I shared it in a lot of birth groups. I'm sharing it here. And so perhaps we'll get some replays with this because it opens up a discussion about our culture, and it is unique to the United States. We are one of the only cultures, not the only, where breastfeeding is still looked at as not normal and that formula is the next best thing, and indeed it isn't. It never will be. And women have been duped into thinking that and somehow believe it because of the media and the marketing. And I'm here to say that breastfeeding is normal. It is the way that we feed our young. We are the only species that feeds our babies another species' milk. And that's a fact. So I appreciate you joining. If you're here, if you're listening from elsewhere, if you're viewing the recording, and we'll see if it comes out. It didn't come out the last time. So I think that was a blab issue, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, thanks for watching and listening, and I will be back. It may not be in the morning. I may switch it around. I may just pop on an impromptu blab. I got to figure out the best way to go about reaching people with what I have to say. And this is fun. it's much more fun when somebody's in the live stream. So for now, I'm going to sign off. It's 10:30, and I think 30 minutes is enough of a blab for today. And I'm going to go get my swim in that I didn't get before and move on with my day. And I hope you all have an awesome day or evening, depending when you're watching this. And my hope is that you just begin to think about where your beliefs come from and how our culture is very unique in its thinking about birth and breastfeeding. And we have a lot of issues that result from, I think, what I like to call the twisted thinking. So that's what I have to say today. This is Betsy Schwartz. Betsy Schwartz with Birth in the Know, where questions are conceived and answers are born. So come check out my website, and maybe I'll see some of you on tour this summer with Down the Canal. I'm leaving June 25th, 13 cities, including the donor conference. So thanks for watching, and you have a great day. Stop the recording. This is a learning experience.